Have you ever stood at the edge of a lake, late at night, and felt like something was watching you from the deep? That unsettling feeling that the water itself has eyes? Today we're diving into a story that might just make you think twice before ever dipping your toes into a quiet, man-made reservoir again. Our story begins with Progress, or what some called Progress. An old valley, home to a small, devoted community and a beautiful, centuries-old church, was slated to be flooded. A massive dam was being built, promising power and prosperity. The residents were relocated, their homes dismantled, and the valley slowly, inexorably filled with water. The church, with its stone walls and stained glass windows, was the last thing to disappear beneath the rising tide. It stood defiant until the very end, its steeple piercing the surface like a final, silent prayer before it too was swallowed by the new lake. For a while, all was quiet. The lake became a popular spot for recreation, but for a certain group of people, the thrill wasn't on the surface. It was below. Divers drawn by the legend of the submerged church began to explore its watery grave. Imagine the sight, swimming through the nave, where sunlight once streamed through colored glass, now replaced by the murky green glow of the deep. They found it hauntingly beautiful, an underwater time capsule. But curiosity soon turned to greed. The divers weren't just looking, they were taking. One person pocketed a small stone angel from a niche. Another untangled a rosary from the remnants of a pew. Someone chiseled off a piece of the marble altar, a souvenir of their daring exploration. They thought of them as mere trinkets, forgotten relics from a world that no longer existed. They were wrong. They had disturbed something sacred, something that was never meant to be moved. That's when things started to change. The lake itself seemed to awaken. Locals living near the shore began to report strange sounds at night, especially those who knew the divers or had heard tales of their underwater plundering. They said the lake sings. It wasn't a pleasant melody. It was the sound of a choir, faint but unmistakable, chanting Latin Mass. The voices seemed to echo up from the depths, distorted by the water, carrying a sorrow that chilled them to the bone. For the divers who had taken from the church, it was far worse. The singing followed them home. The man with the stone angel would hear the ghostly choir in his own bedroom. The sound so clear, it was as if the singers were standing right outside his window. He tried to dismiss it, blaming the wind or his imagination. But then, he started waking up in the middle of the night, his sheets completely soaked, his lungs burning as if he'd just been pulled from the water. The taste of mud and algae thick in his mouth. The woman who took the rosary began seeing things. Wet, child-sized handprints would appear on her windows, even on the hottest, driest days of summer. She'd wipe them away, her heart pounding, only for them to reappear hours later on a different pane of glass. She felt a constant cold presence, as if she were being watched by unseen eyes, her every move judged from a watery abyss. She tried to return the rosary, rowing out to the middle of the lake and dropping it back into the water. But that night, she found it coiled neatly on her bedside table, dripping lake water onto the wood. The curse, as they now called it, seemed to tailor itself to the stolen object. The man with the piece of the altar developed a strange affliction where his hands would cramp and ache, as if he were trying to hold on to something heavy and sacred that was slipping through his fingers. He lost his job as a craftsman, his hands no longer steady enough to work. The legends say the church bells still ring. On moonless nights, if you listen closely, you can hear a faint, tolling sound coming from the center of the lake. It's not a call to worship. It's a summons. The drowned church is calling back what was taken from it. It's a chilling reminder that some things are meant to stay where they are, that a blessing, when stolen from its sacred ground, doesn't just lose its power. It becomes a curse, forever bound to the place it was meant to guard. So next time you see a forgotten place, remember this story. Some treasures are best left undisturbed. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the unknown. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a strange experience near a lake. Stay curious and stay safe.